Hey, and welcome back to Dax.Overland. My name is Max, and in this week's episode I will paint our Iveco VM90's frame. After traveling for almost a year in our 40-year-old G-Wagon, we decided to build a new rig from scratch. The Iveco will be its progression, including all the things we've learned while building and traveling with it. I was contemplating all the time if I should remove the consoles. I'm actually quite happy that I removed them because I think Iveco never painted them. I think they mounted them to the frame and painted everything afterwards, but nothing in between. Here you can actually see spot welds and they look like freshly done yesterday. And I think they must be 30 years old. I think they've never seen any paint at all. I had a few comments about CSD discs, so I will give them a shot. Thanks for the comments. I've already used them in the past, but I was never really happy with their longevity. But the issue is that I don't have an angle grinder where I can adjust the RPMs, so those won't last really long. I will use them nonetheless, because there were a few comments how well they work. And I will just accept that they won't last as long. But I think for this, it's probably the perfect solution. And it's not a lot of surface area, so hopefully I won't go through too many of these. So let's go. I have to admit it works quite well. But also, I have to admit, I'm not as mind blown as I thought I would be. It works quite well, but I feel like there's a lot of rust still left over that I wouldn't want to leave. So I will continue now and try to get more experience with it. And maybe it's also the high rotations of the grinder, I don't know. But I will continue and I will see. Okay, they are actually really good. I'm really surprised. So for removing paint, it's perfect. And I think for rust, it's like, let's say 95%. And then you have some stuff left in the pores. And I don't know, maybe it's the high speed of the angle grinder that is not ideal. But this and phosphoric acid together, I think, is my weapon of choice for now. But this is really good. Thanks for the tip. Some more final cleaning, and if you want to see more of the preparations before and rust removal, check out that video. The Owatrol oil had 2 days for drying now, and now I will just roughen up the surface with some Scotch-Brite, and hopefully I will start with the first layer of paint today. But it's super windy today, and also this time of the year with all the pollen flying around, it's less than ideal inside of this tent, but it is how it is, and I don't have any other option. It's so windy today, so I will try if I can block the wind a little bit, because I think otherwise I can't paint today, unfortunately. And I really want to get it done. I will start with the Brantho Korrux nitrofest, and we have this color left at home quite a lot actually. We bought it for the G-Wagon, but I will use it now, so I don't need to buy new paint, and afterwards I will use Brantho 3-in-1. So the primer is done. I had a really hard time. This was a bit frustrating actually, and with that wind it's better now, but it was so annoying. And I think the frame is actually good for learning in a way, because you don't see all of the bad spots. But I think it's really hard to paint the frame because you have all of those tight spots, and then you're under the car and somewhere in between, and you need to reach it from different angles. So I think I sprayed way too much actually, and have some spots where the paint is running. Yeah, it's okay, but I thought I would have a fun experience painting the frame, and I didn't really enjoy it, honestly. So I think since this layer is actually too thick than what I wanted to have, or at least the thickness of each layer in one go, I will let it dry for 1 or 2 days, just to be on the safe side, to get as much thinner out of there as possible, and then I will continue with the 3-in-1. It's a few days later now. I will go for the first round of 3-in-1 now. We had a public holiday yesterday and I actually wanted to paint it yesterday, but I couldn't use the compressor because it's way too loud. So I'm a little bit stressed because I want to get this video done and do the upload and paint this frame. I'm really curious how this will work out. I have a 2.5mm nozzle now because the instructions say it's possible with a big nozzle without thinner, but this paint is really thick. The first layer of 3-in-1 is done now. It has quite a long drying time in between each layer, so I will continue with that off camera. For me, with my gun, it didn't work at all to spray the 3-in-1 without a thinner. Maybe you need a special gun for that. So it didn't work even though I had the 2.5mm nozzle. And I still have a really hard time adjusting the gun, but I recognized that I got more behind it. I mean, it was only the third time for me using a spray gun ever, and the result now is better than the primer before, but there's a lot of room for improvements. But hopefully I will kind of understand it before painting the more sensitive parts like doors and everything that you will see all the time. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. See you next week.